business pursuant to North Carolina statute. So you won't hear anything else from me as soon as we take care of this first order of business, which is to elect chairman for the Madison County Board of Commissioners. The procedure for that would be I will open the floor for nominations. Once we receive those nominations, then this board will act on each of those nominations in voting. I will conduct the business for the purposes of electing the chairman. Once the chairman is elected, then I will turn over the remainder of the business of this board to be conducted by the chairman. So at this time, I would open the floor for nominations for chairman of the Madison County Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Attorney, I would nominate Mr. Clayton Rice to be chairman of the board. I think it has been a custom at some time in the past for a top vote-getter to be nominated as chairman and acted on by the board. I think Mr. Rice brings a new perspective and will be very qualified for that position. I would be pleased to nominate Mr. Clayton Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Baker.
I would nominate Wayne Brigman as chairman.
I will second that nomination.
Do we have to have a second?
Don't believe we need a
No, I
second
don't
for
think
purposes
that's
of
right.
nominations.
Right.
I'm going to nominate Jim Baker.
If someone would nominate Staunton, Norris and Bill, we could all be nominated.
To keep that from happening, do I hear a motion that,
I move the nomination cease if that's in order, sir.
thank you. I would need a second for that.
I second.
So what we will do now is proceed to the election, and I will offer each of the nominees in the order in which they were nominated, with the first being Clayton Rice. What I would do is just ask that each person who would vote in favor of Mr. Rice as chairman to raise their right hand.
But before we vote, can you vote if you just...
You can vote for whomever you want to vote for. It is going to require a majority of this board for that person to be elected.
But you can vote for, if the person that you vote for first fails, then you can vote again, is that right?
That's we do not have any rules that would keep that from being the way that you could vote. So I will open the election of Mr. Clayton Rice as chairman. If you wish to vote for Mr. Rice, please raise your right hand. Record reflect that there were 2 votes for Mr. Rice. I think the second nominee was Mr. Brigman. Those in favor of Mr. Brigman as serving as your chairman, raise your right hand. A majority for that position. The third nominee was Mr. Jim Baker. Those in favor of electing Mr. Baker as your chairman?
Since the issue's been decided, do we need to?
Well, I think it could, if there happen to be 4 or 5 votes for you, you may be elected. So, those in favor of Mr. Baker, please raise your right hand.
We'll just see.
2 votes there. So I will, within the results of the election, that Mr. Brigman would continue as the chairman of the board, and I will now turn the balance of this meeting over to Mr. Brigman.
Thank you, Mr. Long. At this time, we are going to open the floor for nominations for our vice chairman. At this time, anyone has a nomination to be vice chair?
Mr. Chairman.
Jim Baker.
I'm sorry,
Jim Baker for vice chairman.
Mr. Jim Baker. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Clayton Rice.
Any more nominations? this time the nominations will cease. We will do this in the same order, with the first being Mr. Commissioner Jim Baker. All those in favor of Mr. Jim Baker as Vice Chair, raise your right hand. Okay. Mr. Clayton Rice, all those in favor of Mr. Clayton Rice, raise your right hand. Okay. That is a 3-2 vote for Mr. Clayton Rice, who is Vice Chairman. At this time, we will now take the nominations for the clerk. This is the clerk for the board. Do I hear any nominations? I will nominate Darlene Reinhardt.
I'll second that.
Any more nominations? At this time, nominations will cease. All in favor of Darlene Reinhardt for clerk, raise your right hand. All right. Now we will take the nomination for our county attorney. I will open the floor for nomination for county attorney.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Donnie Laws.
Okay?
I would say that does it require a second? Does it require a second?
Any more nominations? No. At this time, nomination for county attorney will cease. All those in favor of Mr. Donnie Laws as county attorney, raise your right hand. Okay. Thank you. And at this time, we will have review conditions for the sheriff's bond, and I will let our county attorney brief us on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The same general statutes that we've been referring to, and this one is under the sheriff's section, requires that this board review and approve a bond for the sheriff of Madison County. This is a review that has to be done every 2 years at this organizational meeting. It's sort of an old, and I'm not going to use the word loosely, antiquated statute in that many years ago your sheriff in your county held a majority of property for the benefits of the citizens. And there have been stories all over the state of North Carolina, the sheriff taking off with those monies and goods that he held. And as a result of that, the legislature found it with good reason to require that the sheriff be bonded by some bonding company, usually an insurance company. And so for many, many years, this has been a requirement of all sheriffs. And your elected sheriff, Mr. Harwood, was bonded prior to this board being elected, and he actually had his bond renewed by Western Surety Company, which is an insurance company that is licensed to do business in the state of North Carolina and is in good standing. The bond that he has provided is a bond in the amount of $25,000, and it was effective the 3rd day of November. This is the same bond that had been approved on prior occasions by this board for Sheriff Harwood. I can tell you that we do have a similar bond on our sheriff in Yancey County, and it is of a similar value. I know of no action since I've been board attorney to where anyone has attempted to immerse the sheriff's bond for any reason whatsoever. I have no reason to believe that the amount of this bond would not be adequate.
Has every commissioner had a chance to review this bond? Any questions or discussion Do I hear a motion to approve the sheriff's bond from Western Insurance Company?
So moved.
I hear a second.
Second.
All those in favor of the approval of the sheriff's bond, raise your right hand. All those. Thank you. Also, we have two parades coming up. The Hot Springs Parade, December 6th. The Marshall Parade will be the 13th. We'd like to see each and every citizen that can be there in support of the towns. They put a lot of effort into this, and it takes a lot of time in preparation. Okay. At this time, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I hear a second.
Second.
All in favor of adjourn, raise your right hand. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Next meeting is on Thursday.
The next meeting will be Thursday.
What time is that? 6?
6.